AskReddit. People in stock photos. What's the weirdest way you've seen your photos being used? I let a photographer friend take a stock photo of me. I looked sad in it, and it ended up on some website about victims of abuse. What kind of abuse? This sounds interesting. It was general like, don't be a victim. I think the website was run by a city in California. In college, a photography student took some pictures of me playing classical guitar. I ended up in a Viagra ad. I was 19. College must have been rough. Yeah, my penis still has scars. I didn't even know I was in a stock photo until my grandma bought a picture frame at Sears with my T-ball team picture in it. They saved her a step. I ended up finding myself on one of those now hiring posts on Facebook for a company I was trying to get hired at. He's literally the guy in the picture. My whole family modeled back in the 80s. Somehow my dad ended up in a brochure for some born again church that said he was a sinner and adulterer until he found Jesus. Question: where did he find Jesus? Was he behind the dried oregano? Asking for a friend. This takes place many years ago when foreigners were a rare sight in Japan. I'm a big, friendly looking white guy, and I was asked to do some photos of a couple on a date. So I go around to some scenic locals with a beautiful Japanese woman, the photographer, and his assistants. Fun day. Took tons of romantic photos. And that was the end of it. Until a month or two later when my date and I showed up on posters all over the subway as part of an AIDS awareness campaign. Because you can catch that from foreigners, you know. Needless to say, my friends and coworkers thought it was hilarious, and amazingly it didn't have any noticeable impact on my dating life. Looking back, my only regret is that I didn't steal one of the posters. I'm in the header of my university's grad school application. Whenever someone posts a screenshot of their acceptance email, Facebook facial recognition asks if I want to tag myself. Do you tag yourself? I got accepted to its nursing program. Again. I googled my husband's name and a picture of him has been mistaken and mislabeled as Ann Coulter's husband. Why are you talking to Ann Coulter? Probably to confirm her husband isn't secretly married to Ann Coulter as well as her. I have some friends that found one of their wedding pictures from Facebook somehow printed on a pillow in a market in a Middle Eastern country. Like, they just randomly happened upon their wedding photo in a random street market. They are from the US. Okay, but did they buy the pillow? Yeah, how could they leave that detail out? The nerve of some people. My family did a stock photo shoot when our kids were young, like 1 and 3. A picture they took on our porch ended up in the opening credits for The Americans. That's pretty cool. Has anybody you know ever noticed it on the show and asked you? No, the image in the credits has ripped pics of the actors' faces over our faces, so we'd never be recognized. That's both nice and kinda of a bummer. Not me, but my younger brother had his picture taken when he was about 9 or 10 for the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. My brother was a really cute red-headed kid with freckles, and they asked my mom if they could use his photo for their promotional materials. A few months later, we get a brochure in the mail with my brother's face on it talking about the Big Brothers program. It was really funny because they had changed his name to Timmy and in little kid handwriting written things like, "I really need a big brother, and have you found me a big brother yet?" And then ended it with "Love, Timmy." My siblings and I laughed a lot over it and called my brother Timmy for weeks. I'm in an ad campaign in my home state in Australia for the government. I'm the face of "Don't buy alcohol for underage people." It's just me looking like a dad who's thinking of buying a drink, obviously for a teenager somewhere. Ironically, I don't actually have my own kids. I get emails from people I haven't heard from in years saying I saw you on the wall of the bottle shop, which is kinda funny. LMAO, I see this exact ad every second day. Sup dad. Backquote bottle shop is now my go-to phrase for the liquor store. My husband and I did stock photos when I was pregnant with our first. I ended up seeing myself later on the side of a bus as well as in a pamphlet for young moms. Flattering. At my doctor's office. The more interesting part, though, is that my husband took part in another family shoot, various poses, cooking in the kitchen, etc. Years later I was looking up a colleague on Facebook and her cover photo was her and my husband chopping vegetables in a stock photo. More context on colleague, she was apparently at the shoot too. I was in a different room doing prenatal yoga poses with another girl, while my husband did the family photo shoot. The colleague was the mom, husband was dad and a teen girl was daughter, which I gloated over, of course. He was cast as having a teen kid, while I got teen mom. At the time I had not yet worked with this person. Years later I became acquainted with her through work, but only peripherally. I happened to look her up on LinkedIn/Facebook to see what her work background was. That's when I discovered the picture. It was so fucked up. It was several years after the shoot. People had commented on her photo too, like "you look great" and shit. She never explained the nature of the photo, and it is still her cover photo to this day, over 7 years later. My friend was in a stock photo where he held up a baby picture and it got used for an anti-circumcision ad campaign. Was pretty shocked when I saw his face on the side of a bus. I'm legitimately in tears laughing at this. It's just so absurd to see your friend's face on the side of bus being anti-circumcision. At least there's ads like that. Progress boys, progress. My cousin took a photo of me wrestling my sister at a family reunion a few years back and it somehow wound up on an online forum about domestic abuse. I had a few of my friends messaging me who were obviously very confused. Lol. Why were a few of your friends on a domestic abuse forum? Does he really need to tell them again not to visit that damn forum? Another black eye should do it. I was asked to go to a big opening event party for a park in China. As a foreigner this kind of thing is pretty common. They want some white faces. Free food and drink. All the other guests had to pay. But in the end they start guilt tripping me. Put on this traditional Chinese costume, they say. Some kind of kung fu looking robe thing. Let us take some pictures, they say. Fine, I'll let them do it. A few weeks go by and random people start pointing me out in public. My students are giggling in class. Finally when I'm out and about, someone approaches me. "Are you the guy from?" and shows me a picture on the phone. My likeness in Chinese traditional wear has been printed on building-sized billboards around the city. I look goofy as fuck. All around the city where I live and work. I got used as a person with intellectual disabilities. I also did not know my photo was going to be used for anything. Maybe your inability to make medium-term memories is why this was a shock to you. Utterly savage. I did a stock photo shoot about 10 years ago, and my photos show up in the weirdest places. 3 ex-boyfriends have texted me out of the blue after my stock photo showed up in their work training modules. Someone in my senior capstone class used my photo in their class presentation and didn't realize it was me until everyone kept awkwardly looking at the screen and looking back at me. Every so often, my face pops up in a sassy black lady meme, paired with text like "Devil don't try me today" or "Too blessed to be stressed." Type amen if you agree. The weirdest in my opinion, my mom decided to join some crappy MLM makeup company because she was flipping through their catalog and saw that they had used one of my old stock photos as one of their makeup models. I was very obviously not wearing their makeup in the photos and my stock photo didn't match any of the other models' photos. Basically, whoever designed the catalog was like, "Oh snap, we need some diversity in here." But they were too lazy to actually hire another model, so they just grabbed a stock photo of a black chick and called it a day. The strange thing is that my mom joined the company because my photo was in the catalog, but she had to have known that I wasn't wearing the company's makeup because she personally did my makeup for that stock photo shoot 5+ years earlier. I saw my neighbor in a fetish magazine that featured women pouring relish all over their genitals. Haha fucking hell, was she pouring relish, or was it a normal stock photo? This thread is going to be on YouTube, guaranteed. Put me in the screenshot. Hello memelings. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure you hit those lovely like and subscribe buttons below this video if you liked it and would like to see more.